Hello followers. Today we are going to see the topic Oracle Database Architecture. If you are working on performance tuning, it's mandatory to know the Oracle Database Architecture. If you are attending any interviews, if you are experienced person, you are attending interview, SQL developer, PLSQL, DBA, performance tuning, any interviews, they will definitely ask Oracle Database Architecture if you are experienced person. Because why they are asking Oracle Database Architecture? Example, if the one person is a doctor, if he is not knowing what are the body parts and how it's functioning, do you believe he is the doctor and he treat properly the patient? No, right? Similar way, if you are the performance tuning engineer, you should know the internals of database architecture. Then you can do proper tuning and you can understand the system properly. So that's why they are asking Oracle database architecture. Okay, let's explore the architecture. First, user using client, they will connect to using listener server process. Then it come to the instance, Oracle instance. Okay, it can be one instance, it can be multiple instance. So we will explore using one instance. Similar thing happen for if it's multiple instance also. Okay. First, memory structure. In the memory structure, first one is SGA, System Global Area. So it's common for all the sessions. Okay. So if we are multiple users are connecting, they will share the SGA memory. What are the components it contains? Database buffer cache. Okay. It store the data blocks, read from the data file. Whatever the data read from the data file, it store those data blocks. It's a buffer cache. Next, shared pool. Shared pool, it stores past SQL, execution plan, data dictionary, library cache, and data dictionary cache. Okay. So last video I explained how the SQL statement processing happening and what is the um, contribution for shared pool. So these are all happening in the shared pool. Next, redo lock buffer. So it's stores the redo entries before writing into redo log files. Okay, it's all temporary memory, so it's a redo log buffer. Okay, then large pool. So it's used for RMAN backup, parallel execution, shared server, and etc. So these are the large pools. Java pool is used for Java execution, and stream pool is for Oracle streams and Golden Gateway. Okay, these are the memory structure for SGA. PGA is process program global area or process global area. So it's private memory for each server process. So SGA is common, right? But PGA it's individual, separate for each session. If you are connecting 10 session, 10 each session having private memory area. Okay. It's contain session information, sort area, hash, cursor state, and stack place. So these are the details, whatever the happening in the PGA, it's gone all here. Okay. Next, background process. These are the background process, it's running in the database. Okay. DB writer, database writer, DBWn. So it's write dirty paper to data files. Okay, so I explained, right? When the data is missing in the hash chain, so it will open the dirty buffer, then it will write. Okay, this process is for the log writer, LGWR. It writes the redo to redo log file. Okay, CKPT, checkpoint process. It's update the control file to data file scatters. Okay. SMON is system monitor performs instance recovery. Okay. PMON is process monitor clean up failed user process. Okay. ARCn it's archive process, archive redo logs and archive logs. Recovery process. So resolve distribution transaction. M1, its manageability monitors, collects performance data. This is important for performance. Okay, it's correct for. So these are the process is running in the background. That's why I am saying, right. Each and every activity the Oracle database is monitoring and is storing. Okay, it's not giving showing to everyone, but if we need, it's all the details available in the database because background process is running. Okay. Next, Oracle database physical files. These are the physical files. Okay. So here the data receipts. First one is data file. So it's stored all actual data. Okay. So tables, index, and everything, whatever it's here, it's stored in the data file. It's stored into .dbf format. Okay. Control files. It's contain the metadata information. Okay. Data file info, redo doc info, checkpoint info. These are the things available in the control file. Redo logs file. It store all changes made to the database for recovery. So any recovery process needed, those all will be stored in the redo log file. Archive files. Copy of filled redo log files for backup and point of time recovery. It's stored in the archive files. Okay, parameters file. It stored the installation parameters. It's two kind of file we have: p file and s file. It's .ora file. It's mentioned installation extension. Okay, password file. It's stored administrator authentication information. This all stored in the password file. Okay. Next, logical storage is the final component of the architecture. Okay. First, database. So database contain table space. So it's a logical storage container. Okay. We can have multiple table space. So the table space, from there it's segment. So a segment is allocated to particular database objects. It can be index, it can be table, it's segment. Then segment to extent is collection of contiguous Oracle blocks. So it's a extent. From the extent, it's a block. Okay, this is the final small unit of storage in the Oracle. It can be 2 KB, 4 KB, 8 KB, 16 KB, based on the configuration. Okay, so this is a simplified flow. Okay, so okay, already explained on the last video. So our user execute the SQL statement. So server checks shared pool past SQL, then data blocks read from the data files into buffer cache. Okay, if it's not available, hard parsing, then changes made in the buffer cache, redo generator writer into log buffer. So any DML operations, those changes will be here. Then rock writer redo to redo log files. Okay, DB writers data blocks to data files. It will write the data file, then commit the transaction means it's in. This is a transaction flow of our statements. Okay. So this is the key points. Instant memory structure plus background process. It's contained the instance. Okay. Database is physical file on the disk. SGA is shared memory. PGA is private. Redo ensure durability. DB writer ensure persistence. Okay. Architecture enables performance, concurrency, and reliable recovery. Okay, so if you know these all components, then you can easily identify the issue, where it's going slow and where we have to tune it and where it's taking time. Okay, whenever the process is happening, this all details stored in the dynamic performance view. So dynamic performance view, we can query and we can check it, and they will make the permanent, and we will store it in DB underscore views. Then AWR will come to the place. So Oracle Enterprise Manager, it's use the DBM underscore views and get the data. So the DB underscore view, it's loaded from dynamic performance view only. So that's the way the performance tuning engineer will tune the system. So okay, if you are the core performance tuning engineer, directly you will query the dynamic performance view and you can identify the performance bottlenecks. Okay. Okay. This is the complete database architecture. Okay. Let's see it in the theoretical way. Okay. Okay. So this is the high level architecture. Okay. when you in the interview point of view, if anyone asks, this is the way you can explain Oracle database architecture, user client, Oracle listener, server process, SGA, BGA, then background process. These are the background process, then Oracle database. Okay. Oracle instance, it's a combination of memory structure and background process. The instance provides the processing environment required to access the manage the database. Okay. Major component in the instance, SGA, PGA, memory structure, its background process. These are the background process. Okay. So Oracle database consists of physical files stored in the disk, important physical files. These are the files. Okay. Physical files. SGA, it's system global area. These are the major components. Buffer cache, this SQL statement, it will come to buffer cache. Block found, use that block. Block not found, it's read from the data file. So this is soft parsing. This is a hard parsing. Okay. So shared pool. So it's shared between the sessions. So multiple session can use the same AGA, right? So they'll share the information. Okay. Library cache. So it stored the SQL statement, PLSQL code, execution plan, and parse information. Oracle will use existing SQL information whenever possible. Okay. Using this library cache only, the soft parsing will happen. Okay, data cache store information about database objects and metadata, including tables, columns, user privileges, and object. So metadata, it stored all this detail. Okay, so pairing some metadata table, we can identify the metadata information. Okay. Redo lock buffer, so it's to store redo entry generated by database changes. Okay, example, if we are updating these changes, Oracle generate redo lock information, describe the changes, then redo lock information instantly placed in the buffer. Okay, then log writers into information into this redo lock file to make it permanent. Okay, so large pool. So it's used for mainly the backup, ARCn backup and parallel execution. So large memory allocation, it's used large pool. Java, if any Java information, streams used for streaming. PGA is private memory. It's used for the each individual separate session separately. Unlike the SGA, PGA is not shared between the session. Okay, it's not shared between the session. Each user having its own PGA. Okay, so here what are the operations happen? So Oracle instance, SGA is separate. It's shared memory. PGA is private memory. So these are the background process. So the DB writers. So buffer cache, data blocks, DB writer, and data file. This is the flow for database writer. Log writer, user registration once committed, redo log buffer, redo log writer, and online redo log. Okay. Checkpoints. So checkpoint related activities here. System monitors recovery activities including instance recovery, certain cleanup process, SMON. PMON handles a cleanup associated to failed server. So whatever the failed associated user server process, so it will take care of. RK process, when database operate archive log mode, RK process copy file online redo log file to archive redo logs destination. Okay. Online redo logs, archive redo logs. Okay. MMON, manageability monitor, is performance very manageability to task in performance status collection, AWR and RECO management infrastructure. Okay, this is for performance status collection. Okay, recovery process for RECO. Okay, physical file, data file. What are the details contained data files? Index, undo segment, other database segments. Control file, it's what are the metadata structure, database name, database identifier, redo lock information, checkpoint information. Okay. Redo locks are already explained. Archive. Okay. Parameter file. It's contained two files. P file, text-based installation parameter file. SP file, server parameter file manager. Okay. Password file for all the administrator authentication. Privilege remote connections such as SysDB and these all the details stored in the password file. Okay. Logical storage architecture, database, tablespace, segment, extend, the Oracle block is the last. table space, user table space. So it can be multiple table space. Okay. Common table space includes systems, stacks, users, temp, and undo. These are the common table space. After that, top of this, DBA will create their security use table space. Okay. Segment. These are the segments. So table segment, index segment, undo, temporary segment. These are the segments. Okay. Extent. So collection of Oracle blocks allocated to the segment. A segment can be contain multiple extents. Okay. It can be contain multiple extents. Oracle data block, it's the final unit of the storage managed by the Oracle database. Common block sizes include 2 KB, 4 KB. This is the size. Okay. So while designing, it's based on the business need. They will decide the block size. Okay. So client connection architecture. So client application, listener, server process, Oracle instance, SGA, PGA, background process, and Oracle database. Okay. So dedicated server architecture. So So session one. So each session different process, right? In the PGA. Okay. So shared server architecture, user session, shared service pool, clients. So pass check existing cursor, database buffer cache. Okay, so this is the process. Soft parsing, data block found, redo data file record. Okay, result client. Okay. So these are the structure, how it's work. When DML statement is done, buffer cache, if block modified, redo generated, redo log buffer, then log writer, then finally redo log. Okay, after the commit, transaction commit into data files. Okay, data blocks. Okay, so these are the some important dynamic performance issue. You can query, you can understand the key details of the database. Okay, so DBA interviews questions. Okay, what is Oracle instance? It's combination of memory structure and background process used to access and manage the Oracle database. Okay, what is difference between SGA and PGA? SGA is shared memory associated with the instance, whereas PGA is private memory associated with the individual service process. Okay, this is a SGA and PGA. What is database writer? So DBWn writer is modified data blocks from the database to buffer cache to data files. Okay, buffer cache to data files, it will the background process. Log writers, it writes redo information from redo log buffer to online redo log file. Okay. What is the difference between data file and redo log file? Data file stores database data, while redo log files record the changes made to the database for recovery process. Okay. What is the smallest unit of Oracle storage? Data block is the smallest unit of logical database. What is the table space? A table space is the logical storage container consisting of one or more data files. Okay. Yes. Segment storage structure allocated to for the database objects such as table or index. Okay. So this is a quick revision. Oracle database architecture, instance, memory. So HGA, these are the memory. PGA, background process, these are background process. Database, data files. Logical structure. This is the logical structure, logical storage. Okay. That's yeah. So now this is the end of the video. Okay. So if you get the interview question, can you give Oracle database architecture? Then just you can explain the key areas, and definitely it will give very good impression to the interviewer because very few people know the Oracle database architecture. Maybe people are working in industry um, more years, but still they are not aware of database architecture because maybe they are working on only development side. They are not thinking about the performance tuning side. If some experienced guy, if he is thinking on performance tuning, he should know how the Oracle database architecture works. Okay. So this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for viewing the channel. Please subscribe it, share your feedback, share it with your friends. Okay. Thank you. Also, based on your input, I will be taking the videos. Please subscribe it if you already subscribed. Thank you for your support. Thank you.